Hello, interesting. It's so good to uh, patch in with you all 3 days in a row here. I am on a roll and starting to enjoy testing out this lavalier mic and seeing the results that it is an effective way to have quality audio. Feel free to put in a comment. We'd love to hear your feedback of your thoughts on the audio quality here. So instead of just testing out my lavalier mic today, I'm going ahead and also just going to add a teaser in today, and especially light of yesterday with the small power outages with Facebook or whatnot. We'll leave it at that with regardless of the cause. I want to make sure that I'm providing the solutions that I've charted out to be covering with you all. So we'll be going over the 3-on-3 solutions, and I'm breaking it down to like 3 just so that it's digestible, easy to remember. But today we're going to cover one of the 3. Okay, so the 3 in totality are having 3 alternative sources of water, energy, and communication. Today we are going to cover communication. Okay, so I'm giving you 3 alternative devices to go ahead and purchase and have in store to be able to communicate. And the reason you want to go ahead and be put in this place now is because you want to be having these things purchased, as well as the loved ones that you will be communicating with. So the first I'm going to start with is long range radio. Okay, a long range radio. And so one of the best and the longest range examples, not examples, but selections of this is the ham radio. Okay, the ham radio. Okay, that gives you the longest range. You can literally talk from, depending on the ham radio that you have, depending on the setup that you have, infrastructure that you set up around that ham radio. Now, I've talked with people that have used the ham radio and literally have talked from the East Coast of Florida, for instance, have talked from Florida to Japan. So that is someone that has, the longer range ham radio, as well as, they have the infrastructure set up with the location of the radio. There's a whole lot of nuances, which I'm not here to get into that. This is a macro popcorn, informative here, so that you can begin to, again, get in the mindset and do your due diligence to see what the best solutions are for you and what 3 communication alternatives do you want to have in place. So number 1, again, is the ham radio. In tandem to ham radio, there is a GMRS radio. The range may not be as long as the ham radio, so keep that in mind. Again, with a ham radio, you can essentially talk from, East Coast to West Coast. You could talk from, Florida to California, again, with the proper setup. The GMRS, you can have a longer range, but you may be more limited sometimes to, 40 miles or less. There are, different tiers of that GMRS radio, but the range may not be as long as the ham radio. One thing to keep in mind with both of these devices, the ham radio or the GMRS radio, they do both require a license to utilize those radios. And you would want to go ahead and, again, be making those preparations now, because there's a learning curve for both how to use both of those radios. The GMRS radio is easier, is more user friendly. Again, keep in mind you may have a shorter range of accessibility. If you want to have both, the more the merrier. Also to the GMRS radio, the license that you get for that, the test is a lot easier to, or application process to get the GMRS license is a lot easier than the ham radio. Not that the ham radio is hard, it's just, the GMRS radio, let's say the application process to get that license, let's say it's a level 2.5. and the ham radio may be a 5. Okay, so it's not that the ham radio is super, super hard. It's just a little more hurdles. You do have to study a little bit for that test or whatnot. If I'm not mistaken, the GMRS, well, I'm not going to misspeak, but I'm not going to share information outside the scope of my expertise. Again, this is a macro view here, and the goal is to keep this video a little bit shorter. Second is a long-range walkie-talkie. Long-range walkie-talkie. Now, there are some GMRS radios that they look like walkie-talkies, okay? But again, the more options that we have, the more options we have. So the first option I'm proposing is the ham radio, GMRS radio. Second, long-range walkie-talkie, okay? Thirdly, satellite phone. Thirdly, satellite phone. Again, the more options that we have, we're covering our bases here. So if we have one option that is going to be utilizing satellite to communicate, if the satellites are down, okay, we're going to our next tier. Now we are being able to utilize radio frequencies, which have the radio towers that they're associated with. For all of the radios to go down, that would be a little bit more, of a situation, but the more bases that we cover. So if we can have communication that is from the satellites are down, okay, now we have radio communication. And then if you can have a communication that is tied into something with a fiber optics or, cords that are ran in the ground, okay, this is how we are able to be equipped with options in the event of, let's just say, a power outage or some type of disaster. We're not only reliant on our cell phones. We're not only reliant on our cell phones. So this is the popcorn informative today on having 3 alternative communication sources, and we'll be circling back to continue to delve in having adequate preparation for, again, covering water, energy, communication, and going further and delving into that. So look forward to put in the comments your thoughts on this. If you have any other shares that you would like to share with our community, let's definitely circle the information here, and glad to patch in with you all today. Have a wonderful day. See you later, Interestings.